So good morning everybody. So today we will be talking on patella. Flexor patella is also very common orthopedic problem, and they used to come to casualty or OPD following injury around the knee joint, and many times this flexor needs operative treatment. Let us talk something about the anatomy of the flexor, anatomy of the patella itself. So, patella is facing in the front of your knee joint. It's located in the front of the knee joint. So, it can be stated as a kneecap. It lies actually in the patellofemoral groove. There is a groove in the distal part of the femur between the condyles area anteriorly. And this is the area where the patella is located. It is superiorly attached to the quadriceps tendon and inferiorly with the patellar ligament, which is ultimately attached to the tibial tuberosity. And patella is a sesamoid bone, and it is the largest sesamoid bone in your body. So a patella is actually part in the of the quadriceps tendon itself. It is situated in the front of the knee joint, and that is why the cap. The anterior aspect is convex, but posterior part is actually you have a smooth surface there. The posterior part is the articular surface, and it is very smooth. That is articulating with the distal part of the femur to form the patellofemoral joint. So, the patella somehow is keeping the tendon, extensor quadriceps tendon a bit anterior to the joint, so as to have a better lever mechanism to have effective extension of the knee joint. So it also helps us to accentuate the strength of the extensor mechanism by lever mechanism. So while it's almost a triangular shaped bone, as you know, you have seen in the osteology class, and this apex is downwards, the base is upwards. And if you look at the posterior smooth surface of the patella, it is actually divided into two longitudinal halves. One is medial half and right is a lateral half. And usually the medial half is smaller and lateral half of the articular surface is larger. Then if you to determine the side, which side it belongs to, right or left, that can be done if you are keeping it on the table. You will find that side where it inclines is belong to that side. So base is towards the upper side, apex is downward, and the greater articular surface is the lateral side. So this is the shape of the patella, where you find this is your superior part, this is lateral, this is medial, and this is your inferior part. This is the apex. That surface was the front surface, the convex surface. Posterior surface is the articular smooth surface, where one can determine that the smaller part of the articular surface, longitudinally if you are divided, this belongs to the medial side and that belongs to the lateral side. So from this point of view, one can determine whether it belongs to right side or left side. Left side, the lateral aspect of the articular surface is much bigger than the medial surface. And apex is this one is a bit extra articular. It is not actually in contact with the joint. It is a bit away from the joint. So grossly, if you see this attachment, the inferior part here, you have this ligamentum patelli, which is going downwards to get attached with the tibial tuberosity of the tibia. Then superiorly we have the attachment of your quadriceps tendon. This part is mostly tendinous in nature, upper part attachment. Only medial side, this area is where there is the attachment of the vastus medialis obliquus part. And superior part, there is your attachment of the extensor mechanism, that means your quadriceps tendon, which also extends down below medially and laterally as the extensor retinaculum. So what are the functions of the patella? As you all know, people can able to walk and do most of the activities without patella also. Earlier days, while there is a bad fractures, comminuted fractures, most of the time the surgery was to remove the patella and repair the extensor mechanism, extensor tendon. But in this situation, patella main functions is that it is an integral part of the extensor mechanism of the knee joint. What are the extensor mechanism of knee joint? Is a quadriceps tendon, the patella, the patellar ligament, tendon, and the tibial tuberosity. So integrity of all these structures are important to have effective extension of the knee joint. Is there a break or discontinuations in any part of this the extensor mechanism, that this to your inefficiency in doing the extension of the knee joint. That is one functional, a very important point. Another point is the protection. What protection? Protection is that patella is just like a seal, dharwal, dhal and dharwal. Is a seal to the articular surface of the femur. So in a situation when there is an injury into the front of the knee joint, patella sacrifices itself to save the condylar articular surface of the femur. So that is why it is important. If there is no patella, that means this impact of the force is going to work directly on the femoral condyle articular surface, and that will be more damaging to have a effective movement of the knee joint. So many times, that is why patella is just like a seal and protective mechanism to the proper knee joint. Many times it sacrifices itself to save the condyles below. Another point is a deceleration. What is deceleration? If the person is walking, running, and suddenly he wants to stop somewhere, with patella he can stop immediately, but without patella he will go 2 steps ahead to stop himself. So this is called deceleration. Means a running person, when he want to stop, suddenly that without patella it will be difficult for him to stop immediately. He will go 2 steps ahead to make him stop. On the other hand, with patella one can stop instantly. That is called deceleration mechanism of the knee joint. Now, this how does this fracture patella may happen? So necessarily to have the flexor patella, you must have some sort of force working on it. This force may work on the patella by two ways. One is called direct trauma, another is called indirect trauma. In direct trauma occurs directly trauma to the patella, that is fall on the knee, and if there is a direct blow of something on the patella itself, so that leads to your direct trauma. Indirect trauma, that is because there is no direct injury, but if it occurs because of the violent spasm of the quadriceps tendon. So there is a violent spasm of the quadriceps tendon that leads to your separations of the patella, and it is basically a transverse fracture happening in the two fragments, and there is a gap in between the fragments. So this is indirect trauma. One is called direct trauma, another is called indirect trauma. So how do they fracture patella? Once the patient is coming to you with his sort of injury, whether it is direct or indirect, necessarily he will be coming with some sort of pain, swelling, and may have some abrasions of the skin. Necessarily there will be tenderness while you do the palpation, and one may find a gap between two fragments of the knee patella. So in the patella, if you feel the patella from the front, that there instead of this continuations of the bone, there may be a gap, and one fragment is lying above, another fragment is lying down below, and gap is palpable between the two fragments. So that is clinically a proof case of your fracture patella. And while you take the X-ray of this fracture, you may find different types of fractures happening there. As I said already, in case of your indirect trauma, most of the time fracture line is a transverse line. There is a gap in between two fragments. One is above, one is down below. So that is a fracture, transverse fracture. On the other hand, this fracture line may be perpendicular. Alright, that is longitudinal. So that is a longitudinal fracture. Polar fracture means in the patella, if you one pole upper or sometimes down pole is fractured, it is polar fracture. Many times this fracture may not be intra-articular, it may be extra-articular only. That means it is not forming that part, which is not forming the joint. Stellate fracture is a star shape. Star shape means fracture is there, multiple lines are there, but there is no gap in between the fragment. There is a fracture line, but the fracture are not displaced. This is called stellate fracture. Comminuted is actually the same stellate fracture, then while the fragments are away from each other, having gap between them, amongst them, so that is your comminuted fracture. Marginal fracture is happening just like the polar fracture, which is upper pole or lower pole, but marginal fracture is happening in the sides, the medial side or lateral side, the border, one small fragment is there, so that is called marginal fracture. Then osteochondral fracture is basically deep-seated fractures, which is lying inside the jaw, inside the patella, in the the posterior surface, in the articular surface. A fragment, a small fragment is detached along with the subchondral bone from the articular surface of the patella is a osteochondral fracture. These are a bit difficult to see in the conventional X-ray. You need some special technique to see the X-ray, see in X-ray, which is not tunnel views or skyline view. Then there is a longitudinal split. So these are the examples. See, this is transverse fracture, but there is no displacement. The fracture is there, but there is no displacement. Another is a transverse fracture. This is a polar fracture, lower pole, or there may be similar fracture, maybe there in the upper pole. This is a comminuted undisplaced fracture, what is known as a stellate fracture here. The fracture lines are there, but there is no displacement among the fragments. Here, this is a comminuted fracture displacement. See, this is same, but here there is no displacement, but here there is the displacement. A vertical fracture, which is harder than longitudinal fractures, may be this. Osteochondral fracture, this is a small fragments of the bone here happening, in the under surface of the patella, this area, but sometimes many times it may be from this area. This area. This is your under surface of the patella. This is your superior surface or the superficial surface of the patella. Suppose a fragment of the bone is detached from this area. This is called osteochondral fracture. So these are some examples of the X-ray. It shows the two fragments lying there. So this is a transverse fracture with a white cap, and this is happening probably because of the indirect trauma. Now this is a marginal fracture, and this is a skyline view. This is a marginal fracture, but osteochondral fracture will be somewhere here in this area. This is called osteochondral. This is a longitudinal fracture. So what is the treatment? Treatment is that try to bring the fragment in the original position. So in a case where there is no displacement of the fragment, as I said in the transverse fracture, no displacement, or in a stellate fracture, there is no point of doing any operative treatment there, because these fragments may unite if you keep this position in this position for at least a period of around 4 to 4 weeks time. 4 weeks time if you are in it. That means if the gap is not much, gap is less, and these are the candidate to go for your conservative treatment with application of your plaster or cylinder cast. So extensor mechanism generally intact. So here we do apply extensor mechanism, extensor cylinder or extensor brace. What is the exercise should to be start early. So this is the example which can, this is the plaster being applied from here. Plaster being applied for conservative treatment. This is not suitable for those fracture which is already very much displaced. That is not going to unite. But there is, if there is a fracture is undisplaced fracture or a stellate fracture, then this is the category where the patients can be treated either by a plaster or by a brace like this, where the patient is kept this thing in extension and no flexion. If you are doing the flexion, probably it will give more stress to the fragment, and many fragment may get displaced. That is why it is being done kept in extension. So another treatment is that while the fragments are apart from each other, gap is there. This is not a candidate to go for your conservative treatment. Here you need to go for the operative treatment, and the operative treatment most commonly what is being executed is called tension band wiring. Tension band wiring. What is that? You are opening the fragment here. This is a fracture actually. Here is a fracture here. These fractures are open, clean it, then fix with these 2K wire like this, and a stainless steel wire being looped figure of 8 being tied together in a way so that it becomes compressed. This whole technique is known as tension band wiring. Whole technique is known as tension band wiring. This technique is also being applied some other fractures like oblique fractures, medial fractures, sometimes lateral end of the clavicle like this. So tension band wiring is a principle of fixation, and in this case, this is the example how it is being done. 2 K-wires and a loop of stainless steel figure 8. So this is the heading. Then you may have some complication also. You may have some complications of this tension. It may go for infection. Many times, this patient invariably goes for your stiffness of the knee joint. It becomes a bit difficult to him to do squatting. In long run, sometimes there may be some osteoarthritic changes because the impact of the force may cause some damage to the articular surface of the femur. Or if this step is there in the undersurface of the patella that it was not reduced nicely, or there is a step that may cause the erosion to the articular surface. So these are the complications it may face later on. But most of the time we do get complaints of wasting of the muscle of the quadriceps and also stiffness of the knee joint. Sometimes infection may be there, but these are the more common complications. Osteoarthritis is a late complication. So this is your fracture patella. Now, do you have anything to ask? Abdul, stop sharing. Stop sharing, huh? Yes. Sania Alam Khan. 68. Stop recording to quit again.